Hi friends, this is Techie Teacher Friend. I'd like to show you a few ways that you can add an assignment to your Canvas modules. As I've said in the past, I like to set up my Canvas with modules so they're like a folder where I can put the assignments. I have a couple things in this module right now, but I'd like to show you how to add a Google assignment. If you've created something in Google, you can add it here. You do this by pressing the plus sign. You may choose an assignment if you've already created it, but in this case I'm going to choose a new assignment and I'm going to name it. And let's say I'll have my students create a business and I'm going to add the assignment. You have to edit the option to add from Google. So we're going to click on the assignment itself, and then we're going to click the edit option. When I click the edit option, I have so many things I can do. You can give instructions within the assignment itself. Right here, you can assign points. Let's say we'll make it worth 50 points. You can assign the assignment group, that's fine, assignments. And this is what I want, the submission type. I'm going to choose the external tool. When I do that, I'm given the option to enter or find an external tool. That's what we want to do. So here we go. We're going to click the find option. And we need to scroll and find our Google Docs Cloud assignment. So let's click there. In the folder where our assignment is. So let's scroll down and find the subfolder and find our assignment we're looking for and click Submit. Now we need to select, and there it is. You'll see it's connected to your Google Drive. Now you can choose to load this in a new tab. You can allow multiple attempts. You can sync it to your school's grading system. You can give it a due date. You can change any of these things you need to. You can also save and publish right away from this point, or you can just save. So let's see what happens when we save. So now I can see that my assignment has been embedded within Canvas and my students can access it. If they want, all they have to do is click on the title and it will automatically open it in a new tab. They can also still work within Canvas. And that's how you can add a Google assignment straight into your Canvas. Another way to add an assignment is by adding a NearPod lesson directly to your module. And it's a similar step to adding your Google assignment. You click on the plus sign, you say New Assignment, and for right now we'll call it a NearPod Practice Lesson. We're going to add the item, and then we're going to edit it. So I'm going to click on it like this. I'm going to edit the assignment. You can give a description here if you want. Again, you can award it points. So we'll say 20. And under the submission type, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say external tool. But this time, when we click the find, instead of searching for our Google Docs Cloud assignment, we're going to keep searching until we find NearPod. We're going to click NearPod. We're going to scroll and find the lesson we want, and we're going to say a student paced lesson. Now we have attached our lesson. We'll click Select. Again, you can have this embedded in Canvas or you can choose to have it open in a new tab. It's up to you. You can assign it a due date if you wish. You can save and publish right away, or you can just save. So let's see what it looks like when we save. Here's our lesson, and the students will be able to see the same thing. They can scroll through, they can do the activities, they can read the information, and everything's right there for them. I'd like to show you one more way that you can use both NearPod and your Google options. If you wanted to, you could take a normal Google Slides lesson and turn it into a NearPod. You simply do this by choosing an add-on. You need to click this, add-ons, and you can open and add NearPod here. If you do not already have this option, you would click Get Add-ons. You would search for NearPod, and you would just simply install this on your Google Suites. Mine is already installed, and that's why it says so. So let's take a look at what would happen if we did that. So I'm going to click Add-ons, NearPod, and open NearPod. Now I have all the options I would normally have in a NearPod, but I can simply add them to my Google Slides. So for example, if I wanted to create an activity between these two slides, I would click between the two slides, I would choose my activity, such as a draw it. I could type instructions, such as draw a business logo, and I could click Save. By doing so, I've added a NearPod activity into my Google Slides, and when I'm ready and I've completed all my activities, I'm going to save and go to NearPod, and it'll be there in NearPod waiting for me, and I can do the same steps that I just showed you where we added this NearPod lesson. We went to the home screen, clicked plus, added an assignment, we edited the assignment, and inserted a NearPod lesson. Let's say you wanted to add another kind of activity. You could scroll through here and you could pick any activity you wanted. I'm just going to show you a matching pairs activity for right now. So I'm going to find a spot and click there and add my matching pairs activity. I'm going to click Add Pair. And all I do for these is I use them as vocabulary practice. So let's say I wanted students to practice vocabulary. I would create a pair with a vocabulary term and definition, but they can't match more than one, just one by itself, I mean. And so I'm going to add another. Since we're talking about entrepreneurs, we'll use that. And we'll click Done. And now we have two that they can match between. And we'll say Save. And of course you can add as many as you want on here. And there we go, our matching slide has been created. One more thing you can do is with a draw it activity. I've used this in many different ways, and one of them has been, let's say I need them to graph something. I do a lot of graphing in my class. So what I've done before is I've used a previously created slide. So I'm going to go here and use a previously created slide, and I'm going to copy that slide. I'm going to paste it onto our presentation here. I don't want to link them, or I'll just keep the original style. And I'd like my students to graph this onto this graph. But if they're using NearPod, one neat thing you can do is convert that to a draw it. So see this option right here, convert to draw it. If you have your slides, select it and click convert to draw it. This slide now becomes a slide where they can draw on it. It kept the original, but it also created a new one. So what I would do is I would delete the old one and keep the NearPod one where they can draw on it. So these are a few things you can do in order to create a lesson in your Google Slides, and then it becomes a NearPod lesson. The last step, don't forget, you have to save and go to NearPod. Let's save and go to NearPod, and it will load it. Make sure it saves. It might take a minute or two, and when it finishes loading in your NearPod, all you have to do is go to your class. You can edit the NearPod practice lesson that we created here, or you can always add a new one. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'll show you one more time. I'm going to add a new assignment. I'm going to say NearPod 2 just for right now. I'm going to click Add Item. We're going to have to actually connect that NearPod lesson, so I'm going to click on NearPod 2. I'm going to click Edit. You can assign it points, so let's say 20 points, and now we have to find it. So this is the submission type. We're going to click there. We're going to choose our external tool option, and then we're going to find it. Let's scroll and search. We need NearPod. And there is our lesson that we created. You can either make it a live participation or a student-paced one. So let's choose student-paced right now. And this way, the students can do this at their own pace. We're going to select. You can choose to load in a new tab, or you can keep it embedded within your Canvas. It's up to you. And now we're just going to save. And there's our student-paced lesson. And the students can go ahead and participate, do the activities, and have a great learning experience. I hope you enjoyed this new lesson